Olga
And how
brought
is
the pretty this morning because you
Thank you,
guys are not pretty, but Olga is.
Well, in
Brian.
our
You're
own way.
so cheeky. You're so cheeky. Good morning to you all. How are
Good
you?
morning. Good morning.
I have a question for you. Who is Neil Washington by any chance?
Neil Washington.
Yeah, somewhere in Washington or not far from, because I'll be in Washington and Florida in December.
Oh, who is near Washington? I thought you said
Yeah.
Neil Washington.
No,
yeah,
no, not
I did.
Washington. No, no, no. I'm traveling to Florida
Okay.
and then Washington in December. I'll spend half a month there, half a month there. So hopefully I'll meet some of you over there.
Wow.
Washington State or DC?
Sorry, DC. I should
Yeah.
get used to saying that. That's true.
Yeah, one's a lot closer to Florida.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the DC one, the DC one.
Good morning, Glenda. How you doing?
Good morning. Thank you. I'm doing well, thank you. I hope everybody is too.
See, now that's my Glenda Kroll.
Brian, I just got your book yesterday. It finally came in, so I haven't started reading it yet.
Wonderful, wonderful. John Allen just got his too. I really, really, really would ask for your pretty picture with my book.
You
Yep.
got it.
You can inbox it to me or however you get it to me, it's fine. That's beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you. That's,
Well,
hey, John, that's the topic. One of the the topic of today is ideas that help. Getting
That is,
pictures of people with my book helps.
there you go. See, and what we'll
Mhm.
do here with that thought, we'll get this show on the road.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this big, beautiful world of ours. Welcome to episode 165 of Your Next Level Marketing. I'll be your host today. I'm John D. Allen. The regular host, Peter Beckenham, is unfortunately in the hospital recovering from a stroke that he had and heart palpitations. So hopefully he'll be out of the hospital quick and on his way to a quick recovery. And what the topic is today, and Brian just hinted at it, is a roundtable discussing on ideas that have helped grow your business. I don't know, we've all got successful businesses here. We've all done great things. So I'm looking forward to having this chat. Before we get going on that, what I'd like to do is have everybody introduce themselves and give a little synopsis of who they are, where they're from, and what their business is all about. These people donate their time here for free. They're incredible at what they do. So anybody watching this replay, reach out, connect with these people. They're dynamic. It'll only cost you your time and a cup of coffee. You get to buy the coffee because it'll be a Zoom call because these people are all over different parts of the world. So reach out. You'll be glad you did. With that, we'll start with the world's greatest sales trainer, Mr. Brian K. McNeill, and give us give us a little talk there, Brian, of who you are and where you're from.
Absolutely. My name is Brian K. McNeill, born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, but I live in Charlotte, North Carolina right now. I am the world's recognized authority on selling services, and I'm proud to say that I'm an award-winning, best-selling author. I am a sales coach, sales trainer, sales speaker, and I'm excited to have opportunities to do this. Thank you, thank you, thank you, John, for holding up my book. It's beautiful. I can't even express to you how happy that makes me when I see that in the frame. You know, I want to Can I get a picture with everybody doing that? That's three of you guys. I'm gonna get a picture of it real fast. John, I promise you, I didn't decide to do this up front. Thank you. That's sexy to me. That is sexy. Did I get the congrats? No, I got to do the congrats again, please, because Olga put up her sign. Congrats. Okay. Okay. Let's do congrats. I got it now. Thank you. Olga and her signs. I get a lot of value out of this circle, and John's introduction is correct. You know, the proverb "iron sharpens iron" is what I get out of this circle. Your collection of intellect, thoughts, and experiences grow me, and so I'm excited about this topic because I really, really respect everyone in this room's amazing stories.
Alan.
Hi, John. Hi, everybody. I'm Alan Edwards from Hampshire in the UK, and I am a property investor and developer, and we solve property problems. So, for example, the commercial offices that are probably empty or unused in parts of your own town, or retail units with empty parts above. We actually convert those into high quality residential accommodation, thereby creating wealth and profit for property owners and also property investors. So if you're a property owner or a property investor, to us, and we're your go-to. We engage the designers, we engage the contractors, and we provide a totally transparent service. Here's for now.
Thanks, Alan. Mr. Dreyer.
Well, thank you, John. Hello, everybody. I am Pat Dreyer from Phoenix, Arizona in the United States here. And I show people how to make money. I use the leverage of network marketing and a company called My Daily Choice as the vehicle to build my home business. And I know there's one thing for certain that everybody needs, and that's regardless of what your income you're earning, there's one thing everybody wants, and that's more. Everybody wants more. They all do at whatever level they're making. So imagine your life better than it is now just by taking 3 simple steps. You can work from home, building your own business, and have the freedom to create a life that you love. And that's it. That's really all you have to do is learn these skills. You'll never have to work for someone else ever again. And this is why so many of us actually got into network marketing. And I'm looking for a partner. And if that's you, I'll show you how to get started for free and help you get fast results. Now, I invite you to join us today. There's nothing to lose and so much to gain. So give us a call and let's see what we can do for you. Thanks, John.
Thanks, Pat. Miss Olga.
Hello, it's such a pleasure to be here. I was missing being with you guys. I love coming here because you always meet such fabulous and interesting people around the world, which is always amazing. What I do, I change people's lives. I help people with shifting their identities to step up to the next level of themselves. Whether it is in your relationship, of course, we know the most important relationship is with yourself, then with your partner or your friends or your community. So, or whether it is within your career, whether it is within your well-being, but it's all about improving your relationship with yourself and helping you to shift your identity to go to the next level. I love it. I'm passionate about it, and I am truly into it. So yeah, sometimes I can be even boring because I talk about it so much, but because I really believe into transforming ourselves and constantly taking us to the next level of being better version of ourselves. So that's me, Olga. Right now I'm in UK, but we'll be in US in December, and I'm really looking forward to hopefully meet some of you in person.
Maybe you catch up with Santa and Mrs. Claus because they're in Florida.
There we go.
There
Could
you
be,
go.
absolutely.
Thanks all. Glenda.
Thank you, and good morning, everybody. My name is Glenda Kroll, and I am here from Toronto, Canada, and I help women age 40 plus transform moments of breakdown into brilliance with my 3-step program. I guide to help you to reinvent yourself, build your confidence and your wealth through real estate investing. I believe that transformation is possible at any age, and that you're never too old to start changing yourself and changing your life and building your wealth and actually leaving a legacy as well. So if you're interested, I'll put my link in there, just book a call and let's just talk about it and see if you are the right fit. Thank you so much, John.
Great, Glenda. And next we have the lovely Yvonne, who, by the way, will be speaking today at a summit at 1 p.m. Eastern. So hopefully she'll put that link in there and all of us can get in there and listen to what the great Yvonne has to say. Yvonne?
Good morning, John. Good morning, everyone. I have been absent for a while, but I decided I really needed to be here this morning, especially when Peter sent me the title of the or the topic of what we were talking about. I wanted to be here to hear from you and also to learn from you, and let's learn together. So I'm a personal business coach and a relationship building strategist, as well as an international speaker and Amazon best-selling author. I'm currently located in Jamaica. Actually, I now live in Jamaica, where I relocated in November of last year with my husband. And I help mature business owners. I kind of specialize in women, working with women, but I work with everyone really, to increase their income and impact by building strong relationships. Relationships are the key to everything. Olga talked about a different kind of relationship, but relationships in business are essential. They help us to grow a business, to establish collaborations and grow. Thank you, Olga. And what I've now added is the fact that from my own experience, I recognize that business owners, a lot of times we are so focused on doing the things we need to do both in our business and for our families, that we forget a very important aspect, that's self-care, taking care of ourselves. But we have to remember that we cannot give from an empty wagon. And so I've added in the element of self-care in the relationship building, because we have to set boundaries. We can build relationships, and people have to know when it's time for us to be by ourselves or work on ourselves. So that's me in a nutshell, and I've talked too much already. But thank you, John, and Dan, I'm delighted to be back here. And again, congratulations, Brian.
I'm John D. Allen Small Business Coaching. I mentor business coaches, executive leadership coaches, mindset coaches on how they can attract more of their ideal clients and add an additional 48 to 75K to their bottom line in 180 days or less through fall in love with your prospects' problems, not your solution or programs. Basically, what I mean by that is people don't give a shit, pardon my English, about our program or solution. They want to know, can you solve my problem? That's what I specialize in showing people. And what I'd like to do now is get to the topic of our day, have a roundtable discussion about what's helped you grow your business. You know, we've got so many great people here. And again, we've got the great Brian K. McNeill with his great book, you know, showing, and Brian's going to share some ideas with us, and so will everybody else. So what I'm going to do is just throw the floor open to everybody, and let's get the show on the road. Who'd like to go first?
I'll throw something in first, okay? Okay, ahead, Alan. Your hand is raised.
No, you go ahead.
I'll go
right.
after you.
All right. This is not new to me, but one of the first things where I was clearly able to see a spike in my business the moment I started doing this was, and it's going to seem so basic, but start taking pictures with other people or start being in the same rooms with other people, because it seemed to be no matter who I took a picture with or who I was in a frame with nowadays, somebody's going to say, I didn't know you knew John. Okay, I didn't know you knew Pat. But the more I was seen with other people, it made a big difference in my business. So I think that's another thing too. Putting yourself name next to other people and your picture next to other people.
Excellent. Alan?
Right. Well, the thing that's really changed the outlook of my business has been other people's money. And I'll take you back to early 90s when I was trying to do property development, and there was a recession in the UK that interest rates went up very high, about 15%, and it was very difficult to finance any projects, and all the developers stopped developing in London. And I said to the bank manager what I had intended to do, and he said, well, if you leave your job, we won't lend you any money. So it really put a cap on what I had an ambition to do. And I went and worked on big infrastructure projects instead, working for somebody else. So I was project managing high capital value projects for other people, i.e. looking after other people's money. So now I find in this new environment in UK where there are things called permitted development rights, which means that you can take existing buildings and you can convert them from one use to another using permitted development rights. It sort of shortcuts the planning approval process. I find that I'm now in a situation where I can invite people to invest in projects, and I can manage those projects using other people's money. So whereas in the early 90s, I was only trying to fund projects myself using whatever resources I had. And, you know, I did do some, but it's very difficult to scale a business up with limited resources. So now I find that I'm in a different marketplace where there are investors who are looking for returns on money. Some people have got too much money. They've got money sitting in a bank account which isn't earning them a good interest rate, so they're happy to invest it in a project where I can give them good returns. Meanwhile, I can solve problems for property owners because a lot of these buildings are sitting there doing nothing. So like one near me I'm converting at the moment, it's actually costing the owner £10,000 or $10,000 to just keep empty. And I'm now converting this building, solving his problem because I'm buying the building from him. And a large proportion of the purchase and the development costs are using other people's money. So other people's money is a new factor in the marketplace that is enabling me to do a lot of things that I couldn't do before. That's my story. Cheers.
Cheers.
Actually, OPM is a great way to do business. Thanks for sharing that, Alan. Yvonne.
Thank you, John. For me, in 2006, I walked away from corporate America. I handed in my resignation. And the first 2 years, I started the business from home. And after 2 years, I dissolved that corporation and went online. Interestingly, although I began learning online marketing and I did all these years, spent thousands of dollars with various coaches and what have you, what helped to grow my business significantly was in-person networking. A lot of people hate networking. I didn't like it at first. Then I became good at it because I'm an introvert and I really don't enjoy just going up to people and having conversations. But I took the time to study some of the best books on in-person networking, finding out you don't have to be a talker, you don't have to just be there to provide a space where other people ask questions and other people will talk. And once they're talking, they think you are the best person because you listen and you ask them questions. And as an introvert, one of the things I had to do, and I wrote about this, is that I became an ambivert, which means that I would go to these events. At first, I would just stand aside and watch. And I decided that, okay, I'm going to pretend that I'm the organizer for every one of these networking events. And it worked. In fact, people came up to me and said, oh, is this your event? Because I would go around and greet people. Of course, I'd be so burnt out by the time I got home, but it worked. I got clients. I built strong relationships with people in 3 communities around where I live. My name got known. I had my own meetup. I partnered with other people, like I talk about collaborations, we did lunch and learns. So that's what, even though I was learning to be an online marketer, even before I became a certified life and business coach, it was the in-person networking that I did that really helped to grow my business by attracting my ideal clients and keeping them.
Excellent. Thanks, Yvonne. And that is so important. You've got to get out there to meet people. Online is great, but meeting people in person is even better. Olga, what great things have you got to share?
Oh, thank you so much. I love everything that has been shared so far, but I would like to share something that actually really worked in my business is listening to people's demands. is listening what they're asking for, listening to the market demands. I built my business around what people needed. I know many people, they come up with the idea and they think, oh, I'll do this, and then they try to sell it. In my case, it was listening what my clients would need extra, and then building my courses around it, or building my programs around it. And this is how I ended up with my courses and programs. This is how I ended up with 13 workshops in my portfolio, because my clients would ask me, could you do a workshop or training for my staff within my business on this and that? So I would never create something without having a demand on that, for that. So my biggest takeaway, biggest lesson, biggest tip, or whatever you want to call it, would be listen to the demand. Like, follow the demand, follow what people need, what people ask for, what else they would like to learn. And surely I can guarantee you, most likely you will already have that knowledge. Most likely you already will have that skill. But because it's so obvious to you, it's so natural to you, you are oblivious to that. It's like sometimes people look for their purpose without realizing they're already living their purpose. Duh, right? Because they're oblivious to that. So the same here. So I would say always follow the demand, follow the questions, follow the asks, and you will certainly get to diversity of services within your business, as well as more money as a result.
No, that is excellent advice. Thanks, Olga, because so many people try to invent this great, grand, and wonderful product, and they don't know whether there's a market. Go where what people are already looking for. That's going to help you grow your business and get a heck of a lot farther ahead. Mark, we'll come to you in just a minute. In there, Glenda, your words of wisdom.
Thank you very much. Well, 2 years ago, I decided to create a Facebook Live podcast that I do every week, and I have consistently done that for, we're just coming up to our 2-year anniversary. So every single week at 3 o'clock on Facebook Live, we do an interview show, and we talk to other people. So the idea of this is, first of all, we're learning new things, and we're allowing that information to come out to others, so that if they're going through the situation that we're covering that week, they can learn from that. And hopefully the whole idea of that is seeing what somebody else has done. So maybe they come away with feeling if they can do it, I can do that too. A look at. But the other way that has really changed for me is because I am going on to other people's their area. I'm picking up people from all different other people. So I'm exposed to their people. And through that, I have put myself out there for many others. And it's really such an important thing, is to expose yourself to other people's audiences so that everybody knows you, because otherwise, how else are you going to get out there? Going on to into different Facebook groups and so on is one strategy that I have done. But this is a really important thing of being there. So getting onto other people's podcasts, never mind just like for me to go on and getting other people to come to mine, but I also do the same thing. I go and get interviewed and so on and so forth. So we're exposing ourselves to one another. That's what I have to say. Thank you so much.
Oh. Thanks, Glenda. And what you said is so very important. A lot of us are the best kept secret. And until you get your butt out there and people know who you are and where you are, you can have the greatest, grandest, most wonderful product ever. But if nobody knows who you are, you're not going anywhere. People, we all hear it, oh, I hate selling, I hate this, I hate that. When you stop and look at it, you got to sell yourself every day, basically all the day you're alive. You come home, you want to go out for supper. So you say to the other half, where would you like to go for supper? What's their usual answer? Well, where do you want to go? So, or if you take their answer, they're selling you on why you should go there. You want your kids to do something. Kids don't always want to do what mom and dad say. So you got to sell them on the concept of why it's better for them to do it than not do it. It's the same with our clients, our prospects. Why do they want your services? You have to sell it to them. People hate to be sold, but they love to buy. So you'd better be able to let them know from their reasons, not yours, why they should be using your products or service compared to somebody else's. Brian, I'll get to you in just a second here. Mark, you want to take a second and introduce yourself and a little bit about who you are and why?
Yeah, I'm the founder of the Strangers Group, but we're based here in New Zealand. We're a social impact trading company, trading other companies that are. Founder of the Strangers Community, our not-for-profit pay-it-forward organisation. So we're just doing our bit to improve the world, help people to become entrepreneurs. Yeah, making it easier for companies to survive. Our charities, making it easier for charities to survive, helping them to become self-reliant. So that's pretty much what we're doing. We're connecting a lot of people. I like working with many other leaders of communities and that's actually something that I think that I've been concentrating on is networking with communities globally, and is a good way for building trust and getting known, and would totally recommend that. We're working with many marketing, in many areas as well, because you don't know where who's going to come from where. So we're doing a lot of those things as well. So just try a lot of things and go with what's really working for you.
Great. Thanks, Mark. Brian, we'll get to you in 1 second. Mr. Dreyer, what words of wisdom have you got for us?
2 quick ones. Find a mentor and daily personal development. Thank you, John. No, I'm kidding. I got more to say, but those are huge in themselves, obviously. But when I say find a mentor, you're trying to find somebody who is successful doing what you do or what you want to do, and you just got to go and do it. Do what they tell you to do, word for word, without question. Okay, because when you put your little thing into it and you try to change what they're trying to tell you to do, it's not going to work. So if you want to go down the path they're going down, do what they do. And as Bob Proctor says, do this until you find out they're lying to you or don't know what they're talking about. And then as far as daily personal development, you just have to learn how to use your imagination. That's where all the creativity is. And most people think imagination is just for children. Oh man, I wish I could be like that kid. Well, you can be just like that kid, yeah, right? And using your imagination is how you do it. And you can build anything in your imagination. And that is where all the creation begins. Okay, so now the next one is see yourself in abundance and you will attract it. It always works. It works every time with every person. And that's a Bob Proctor quote.
Thanks, Pat. And I know you've studied Bob Proctor for years, along with a lot of other people. There's so many great mentors out there. If you're in a position where, you can't afford to hire somebody, go to the public library. There's a ton of great books you could get there, and virtually they're free to get. You can buy your own and have your own books. I'm a rotten person to go to the library because I like to read a book with a pen or a highlighter. And so if I use the library books, I end up having to buy them at a heck of a inflated price. So I'm better off buying the books and going from there. And talking about books, I know we've shown it a few times here. Our own head there, master world-class sales trainer, Brian K. McNeill, he's got his book out there. Glenda's showing it now.
Book number 6.
Yep. There's so many great books and people out there. Brian, turn it over to you.
First off, Pat Dreyer, do you realize that you sound like Bob Proctor? Your voice sounds like Bob Proctor.
That's a great compliment. Thank you.
On cassettes and all that. Back in the 90s, I used to listen to him on tapes in my car. And your voice sounds like him.
Well, thank you.
Today's topic is ideas that make a difference in our business. And here's an idea today, because all of our clients get bombarded by solicitations, and there's a lot of people that sound similar. I think our number one job today, and I preach and teach this a lot, is we have to figure out a way to lower our potential clients' risk in doing business with. They have to lower their risk, and because it's harder and harder for people to invest their money with people that they haven't had a personal taste test of, or a test drive of, or a demonstration of your effectiveness. That's why I still believe reviews matter. I know there's lots of people preaching and teaching that reviews don't matter. I think they do, because people are trying to lower their risk. So to that end, when I boil down my business, where have I made my most money recently? And it's going to be another one of those very basic things. But speaking, just speak on a platform. Glenda highlighted getting on other people's podcasts, but opportunities to speak, whether it almost doesn't matter where or how many people are in the audience, just the flyer that you're speaking or the announcement that you're speaking. Speaking always gains me money. Whenever I speak, I figure this past Saturday, I spoke on a platform with two other amazing speakers, and we sold out of our books. Okay. We brought, a couple of hundred books with us. Okay. And we sold out. Okay. But they weren't paying me, but I sold out all my books, and and that's probably going to earn me money for a year or so from what I did this past Saturday. So speaking to gain money.
Excellent. And the other part is we all have a book in us, whether we want to admit it or not. Everybody basically wants to write a book or have a book or something. And when you write a book, that raises your authority level, because people say, oh, wow, you got a book and all of that good stuff. So that makes a big difference to a lot of people. And by all means, make use of that. Don't be shy on that. Olga?
Thank you so much, John. It's a really quick one, just before everybody goes, because I know we're approaching top of the hour. Could we please make love hearts so I can send a photo to Peter to say we're missing you, and I will just take a screenshot of that. That's all. That's all I want to say. Just keep showing your love hearts. Keep showing your love hearts. There we go. There we go. Thank you so much. I just will send a message to Peter. I see Alan. Thank you so much for the idea. You just said let's pass a message to Peter, and I thought just to make a nice screenshot so we can.
Olga, I thought you were gonna bring us something else too.
Pardon?
I thought you were gonna give another Olga tip too.
Oh, I have lots of tips, but let's give room to other people to speak. I will just send this message to Peter now. Thank you, Alan, for this idea.
Hey, and while you're at it, how about one of your quick tips? Olga? Just a quick tip. Yeah, just one of your quick tips.
A quick tip would be build as many relationships as possible and nurture them. You never know who knows who, and you never know how things will play out in life. And this was something I was building proactively during the COVID-19. And this is how next year my plan is to be in Australia and New Zealand to explore these two countries within a year. And I already have so many invitations from people who never met me in person. They never touched me, but they all are saying, come and stay with me. Because during the COVID-19, I was proactively building my network over there because I knew one day I want to go. It wasn't because I wanted to stay in somebody else's homes, but it was because I wanted to expand my network. But now these people are inviting me to stay with them because they know I'm going to Australia and New Zealand next year. And I would say that building relationship was one of my probably bestest ways to grow my business, apart of course, following the demand, because you never know who knows who. You never know who knows who. You never know who will refer you to whom and who will book you just because they know somebody else who knows you. So building your relationships and nurturing them is very important. There's no point to go to the event and taking business cards and forgetting about that. Always say, continue building those relationships. You're not going to click with everybody, but if you nurture relationships with those people with whom you click, you will go really far. So that's a little tip here.
That is so true. And there's so many people in the industry, in whatever industry, it doesn't matter. They don't do any follow-ups. You know, they talk to a person once and, gee, that person's going to remember me forever. No, you know, you could be gone from their memory 30 seconds after they walked away from you. You know, like Olga said, you have to nurture that relationship and build it, because as anybody that's built a real true friendship knows, it didn't just happen instantly. You know, yes, you might have an instant contact or get along with people, but unless you do something to nurture that relationship, that's not going to grow. And when you look at it, if you're looking for your sales, there's only 1 to 3% are now buyers. So that's 97% that are maybe interested in your products or service. But if you don't nurture them and keep in contact with them, you're never gonna get them as a prospect or as a client or a customer. If you just looked at that alone, as if your program was $1,000 a month, you could be leaving $97,000 a month on the table. You know, I know that's an exaggerated number, but just stop and think about it. All these people that you don't keep in contact with, you're leaving money on the table. So I had an example of, I heard it actually came out of Dan Kennedy's book, you know, go stand in front of the toilet, start flushing $20 bills down there, see how much you like doing that. And obviously that's not going to be a popular thing for you to do. How long would it take you to change your mind about doing things if you had to stand there with a pile of $20 bills? Either flush them or start using them to grow your business. I'd be willing to bet you'll start using them to grow your business. So anybody else got anything they'd like to add here before we wrap up? Brian.
Yeah, and again, he's going to keep going basic. Keller Williams grew to a global domination real estate company because the 3 guys that was in charge of it, they said, what can we do to grow our real estate agency? And they decided if Gary Keller wrote a book about it. Okay. I will tell you, there are certain doors that are not even available to you until you are published. You have to write a book about it, or they won't even because I've had it in my adult life where I tried to make my living as just a speaker, and people that I knew that I could deliver a message, they wouldn't book me. Brian, you don't have any books out yet, so we can't put you on this program. We can't put you on that program. I've had school systems hire me that I'm certain only hired me over someone else because I had books out that other person didn't. So, and it's like the Duke University philosophy, publish or perish. You're going to have to publish, especially if you want to earn your livelihood as a thought leader or earn your money with your intellectual property, things you've learned over the years. If you're a coach, consultant, or in any kind of capacity, I am going to suggest publish something. And what my latest book taught me, the length of the book doesn't matter. The meat of the book matters. Like Pat Dreyer was saying, no fluff. That matters more. This last project has taught me so much, you know, from what I've learned. But publish, get yourself something. Even articles count. When you write an article and publish it on LinkedIn articles, you publish your article on LinkedIn, and then when you Google yourself or someone else Google you, your LinkedIn article comes up early, the one that you published on LinkedIn. So publish, write something, get that stuff out there. That will change the arc of your business.
Thanks, Brian. There's one thing I'd like to share, and this is especially true for the ladies. Worked with a lady a few years back. She was competing for a job with a big company, and it was in just having a brain fart here what she was doing. Anyways, what had happened is she had written a book, and they had to go in front of the board of directors to make a presentation. There was a bunch of guys there that were going to make the presentation. She was the only woman. And ladies, unfortunately, as you know it, a lot of times you're at a disadvantage for being female in the male-dominated world. What I said to this lady was, take your book with you, and when it comes your turn to speak, walk around to give a copy of your book to each one of those board of directors. And then when all of them had spoken, they all had a chance to give a little synopsis of why they should be the one chosen opposed to all the others. And I said to this lady, here's the remark you make. You can either decide to go by the person who wrote the book or by the rest of these gentlemen that just read the book. Which one do you prefer? She got the job. So, ladies, use the books and everything to your advantage. It works wonders. Anybody else got anything you want to share?
Yeah, real quick, Yvonne, so good to see you here after that hurricane hurling over the top of you like it did. And it was good to get the message from you telling me that you were safe and sound and just a few trees were blocked out and you didn't have any power. The interesting thing about that is it started with you and it finished with Glenda. It went all the way through up into Texas and then came back around and went up north. And Glenda last week was getting beat up by it.
I didn't know that. I know it went to Texas. Then I read something about I can't remember which state it went to and created tornadoes. And I'm like, that monster
Yeah,
there.
it went
Well, she died, but I didn't
Oklahoma
realize
and Arkansas and up in that area,
Yes.
and that's where they had the tornadoes. But then
I
it
didn't
went
realize
straight
it
back
went
to
all
the
the way
east.
to Canada.
Yeah,
Wow, she's one persistent thing, but I hope she's died now.
I think so.
She created a lot of havoc on islands that will be suffering for years to come.
I want to shout out Mark Inkster. He's an amazing connector. He has introduced me to people that have impacted my life. And he's he sits back in here a lot, but I want to tell you guys, I appreciate you, Mark. And he does do an amazing job of follow-up. We all talk about how to follow up, but he's one that I model and I think does an amazing job of it. And I wanted to say, I appreciate you, Brother Mark, and I see what you're doing. And I thank you for the recommendations of my services and the connections you've made in my life. Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate that, Brian.
Thank you. Yeah, more than welcome as anyone here.
The guy works 24/7. I don't think he sleeps.
And other people brag on Mark too. They brag.
Hey, the alarm clock got itself first in New Zealand.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Everything starts out there.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. I know we're coming up on our time here. So, if anybody else got anything, let's throw it out here on the table now. Otherwise, I appreciate everybody and, thank you for your input. And it was a great call and look forward to talking to everybody next week. Hopefully Peter will be back with us and we could go from there. Thanks,
Good
everybody.
seeing everybody.
Thank
Have a
you,
great week.
John. Nice seeing everyone. Have a great week. Bye now.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody. Have a good week.